We got ad-libs out here.
This is what we've been doing.
We got ad-libs. City. Kenny Hardaway, dropping these innuendos.
Tasty Jake.
Just Kia. Tasty Jake smells good, guys.
Oh, does he smell like a cake?
It smells like a big red. Wait.
Big red. Wait, what?
Whoa.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
You're lucky you pulled that shit out. Cause I was like,
Whoa, hold up, pause. I don't
Big red.
want him pulling out no big red.
Oh, yeah.
I'm done.
That's disgusting. But what is this? Episode 129?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, episode 129.
Shaping. We don't talk about that.
What?
Oh, I was just saying, I don't think I've ever seen a red
Yo,
one.
you guys don't even have to speak directly in front of it. That's crazy. You just pick
Yeah,
it
we
up.
really don't. I'm so close to it. Actually. Let me get away from this mic. But yeah, man, we're back. Had a little quick hiatus. Had a day off. I needed that. Feel energized, ready to go, take on the world. So yeah, man. We'll do a quick, recap of everybody's week. Nothing too major, but just to see what everybody was going through. Josh, what's up?
Oh shit, you know me, still struggling with this work schedule.
You can do it, bro.
You can do it.
You can do it.
I haven't done no
Christmas.
I ain't done no Christmas shopping, but I ain't gonna buy nothing but some shit for my mom. So I'll do that tomorrow.
You don't know. Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Goo Year.
Ew.
You just made it weird.
Try to get all the
Jixmas.
items in your house.
Happy Skeester and all that.
Dixmas sleeves.
But yeah, I haven't done this guy, man. This guy's so disgusting.
Happy. Nah, I'm gonna leave it alone.
This guy. But I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yes. Yeah, I haven't done any Christmas shopping, and I already know what I'm gonna get my mom. Just ain't took the time to do it. At least I have. You know what? I appreciate online shopping now because I don't have to go nowhere.
Sure.
Amazon.
What?
Became a Prime member again because I couldn't afford it before, but I renewed it.
You pay that monthly shit now.
Oh yeah.
Actually, you know what? I was fucking with the Prime Video, and I honestly think they're kind of slightly better than Netflix. They have some dope ass movies on the low
On Prime Video.
Yeah, check it out.
Have you guys watched the show The Expanse?
Not yet. I
I'm
seen
about
it,
to start
but
watching
It's dope.
I know what it's about.
It's dope.
It's weird.
I like it. I like
check
it.
out.
And they just dropped a new season.
Oh wow. Check y'all out. Knowing some stuff that I don't know.
But other than that, nothing too much. Just chill.
Okay.
What's the one I was thinking about? Oh, it was Jack Ryan, not Jack Reacher. Anyway.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Jack Reach Around. I don't know. I've just been selling crack. On to the next.
What? That's weird.
I got nothing else for this week.
Baking soda. I got baking soda. Oh.
You in love with the cocoa?
It's been an eventful week. Yeah. Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah, you gotta talk to it.
Oh, it's been an eventful week. Went to a ugly Christmas sweater party at Ria's house.
How was that?
Housewarming. It was dope, We had drinks. Well, I didn't really have drinks, but they had drinks. We had the music going. So that was cool. And then last weekend, Monday was the main's birthday, so we spent the weekend together. Did some cooking, first time ever in 3 years.
You did some stocking stuffing.
Oh no.
Anywho,
What?
So yeah, it was cool. I made some mint chocolate chip cookies, like homemade mint chocolate chip cookies. That came out really good. They taste like the ice cream. That was dope. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, outside of that, just working.
Chill out,
I'm just enjoying
You got some of that chocolate chip nookie. That's what we got.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Like that.
So you know you
Oh.
can say it.
Gave you that Nestle pole house.
Damn, I wish we didn't have more ad-libs on here, bro.
Damn, son. Where'd you get that one?
Can't find this on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
And I applied for a new position at my job. Should hear back within the next 2 weeks.
Oh, you got this shit.
But if so, it will be a significant raise.
Let me
you ain't even got to hold it. You can have it if it's $20 or less. You can.
I mean, I got student loans, dog. What y'all want me to do?
I'm about to hit it over the head. You like, let me get 25.
I might get swing to 25.
Can I get $19.99?
Yeah, you can get that.
Wait up, I just got 25. You doing 19? Bro, your negotiating skills are terrible.
He was very specific.
All right, whatever. I'll do it for $5.
Last offer.
Damn, bro. Like,
now I want to overstep my bounds,
You know, shit, that's gas money or something. Sure. But anything else?
No, man, that's it. Relaxing, enjoying the new place.
Okay. Hopefully we get an invite pretty soon.
Oh, well, I guess I can say it now. Nobody knows where I live. January 4th, we're planning on having a little gathering at the home. January 4th, we're planning on having a little gathering at the new home. So just kind of bringing the new year with all the good vibes in the house. So, more to come. Oh, yeah. He with his shit today.
Anyways, it's my turn, right?
Nah.
You said Oz like he was like.
Look how much time we got left, bro. We ain't got time for you, bro.
He like the person that don't be paying attention during spades. Like, oh, what leg?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's why I don't play spades. Anyway,
Not bad.
Free nigga. My week was swell.
No, nobody talk like that.
Oz does.
Yeah, exactly.
I said nobody.
Oh, you trash.
I see what you did there.
Dirty slut.
Hit the red one.
Yo.
What is happening?
That shit was funny. What? I didn't even know you recorded that shit.
Yeah, that was the first one I did.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But this is funny. Me and Nikki went to this place called CO. Like this, they have pho there or something. It's like a Korean.
Sounds like Korean.
Or Vietnamese.
Oh, they have what?
But they have all. They all have all.
They had
pho, man.
Oh.
What kind of dish is it? What kind of
He
dish?
said CO.
It's like
rice
ramen.
noodles.
It's like ramen almost.
Oh, okay. So is it like the Vietnamese version of like ramen, like Chinese?
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's why I can't.
Oh, I did go to a ramen noodle spot. My bad.
See, it's like a thing mixed Asian because they also had ramen.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
That's why I was like, Korean, Vietnam, they had everything.
Cool. I actually want to try like authentic ramen noodles.
I went to a spot. I forgot to mention that.
Yo,
I did.
with authentic, they be cracking the egg and putting that shit.
Yeah,
Making whole egg.
in there.
Yeah, the whole egg. So you got
I tried sake too. Warm sake.
Sake is.
I've never had sake.
It goes down
Does it
good.
hit hard like
It's rice wine.
harder
It's
than-
strong.
You feel
It's
like you're
fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good too.
Yeah, and if you go to like a Korean place or something, they have like soju. Soju's like it will fuck you up because it goes down so smooth.
Ooh,
Yo,
soju.
it's
It sounds smooth.
I know, right?
Soju.
Shout out to my brother Vince when he was in South Korea. That's all he was drinking. He was
Soju?
like, bro, that shit will fuck you up. I'm like,
Yeah.
Is it like a wine? What kind of drink?
It's like a kind of like a. They say it has a can taste like vodka almost,
yeah,
but it's really smooth. It's like a rice wine. That's what.
yeah.
Mm.
Like
kinda
sake.
yeah, kind of just like sake. Yeah, but
What's up, Marshall?
it is. It'll fuck you up. My brother had it because he went to South Korea and shit. But
Yeah.
other than that, just been hanging out. Just got me some presents. Bought myself some shit.
I know, right? That's I'm with that. I treat yourself.
That's how my whole Christmas has been. It's just me and Nancy buying ourselves whatever we wanted, and then for Christmas we're doing the Chinese restaurant and the movie theaters for the day.
Cool.
What?
That's
I mean, I told my family I got student loans, so I ain't mad about nothing.
She was like, sit on.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
Yes.
I mean, if you don't really have kids, it's like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My nieces get for birthdays. They don't get for Christmas. Not for me.
I feel you.
I don't blame you.
That's what their parents do.
That shit expensive, dog.
Yes, and there's a lot of little motherfuckers.
Yeah, and they would be one of the most expensive shit too.
Okay.
It's like, I want an Xbox. Then they
Shut
all
the fuck up.
And they all want Xboxes. Like, y'all want 5 Xboxes?
You better
Like,
get
hell, like, we got one.
You about to get an X Station.
I already told my brother he one kid away from me buying one crayon book and one crayon pack for the kids
Damn,
to
you
share. Stop playing
said
with
one
me,
crayon book.
Crayon.
Rip the shit out.
Put the emphasis on the K.
Use the back.
Is it gonna be crayon? It's gonna be the Dollar Tree crayon, them Layons, bro.
Bro,
Layons.
if he keep adding his, it's gonna be the Layons, dog. That's what it's gonna be.
That's what I get them.
Bro, you making that up, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I think those are toxic, bro. I don't think you're supposed to get those.
Yeah, those are not the non-toxic ones that you normally see.
Hey, I seen them at Dollar Tree.
I just see fucking Josh at home just like tongue out, literally trying to carve on fucking lay on.
Like, bro, this
Yo.
will be red. Why's it coming out green?
No, those are the crayons that you get when it's like, this shit ain't red. This is like purple.
That's just weird.
Yes, but other than that, you know, nothing much been happening.
Ready?
Alright. Well, I guess it's
Sean Tabulous.
Alright, so I don't know what to say to that. So you know, last week I was on a little quick hiatus, needed a day off. And
He needed some shit with some bop in it.
I like that. That was perfect.
So, like I said, that Wednesday I didn't record. You know, you guys actually did an awesome job, man. I appreciate that, man. It was a dope episode. Thursday, well, just to give y'all, just to catch up on things, I'm going through this whole thing, you know, working on, you know, my relationship with T and all that. You know, we're doing a lot of stuff, you know, trying to really build up something and all the other great shit that, you know, I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of reflecting and seeing things that I needed to work on and stuff like that. So we're on a good path of where we're going with our relationship. Still not together at the moment, but, you know, I'm taking everything slow. So her birthday was Thursday.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was like, happy life anniversary, beautiful.
So, you know, she made a suggestion, because I asked her like a week prior, if she wanted to do something for her birthday. She was like, oh, I might go to Charleston. I was like, okay, cool. You know, that's cool. If you don't, I'm still here, you know, if you want to do something. So she was like, I decided I'm not going to go to Charleston. You still want to get out? I was like, yeah, definitely. And one of the things that I wanted to do before this year ends, and something I'm going to start doing on a regular, probably like every 2 months or so, is do some volunteer work in some type of way. So she suggested, she's like, do you want to go do some volunteer work at the Salvation Army on my birthday? I was like, yeah, that's perfect. I would love to do that. Like that works out exactly for how I want to end this year. So before I did that, bought her a card and some flowers, gave them to her, and then we went ahead and did some volunteer work. Shit was so dope, and you know, we was working together as a team, so it was nice to have some type of exercise where we're building together and actually bouncing ideas off each other, doing all this stuff, and it's like no type of, I'm not even saying animosity, but you know, it's not like we're trying to outdo the other. It's like, hey, let's just help each other. So did that, went out to eat, then got some Insomniac cookies. Them shits is good as well. Yeah, them shits is hella good.
That shit is targeted for the munchie crowd, but
yeah, that shit's slap. It's good as shit.
Who else getting cookies at 2 a.m, but niggas who eyes for college
You
kids?
know, you can get some other type of
Chocolate chip.
That's Stucky.
You can get that if you're hungry too.
Exactly. So you know, we just had a pretty good weekend. Went to go see Knives Out. Very good movie.
What's that about?
It's almost like set up like how Clue, like you know how.
Oh, like the game?
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's almost like Who Done It.
Oh, okay.
But it's funny. Like, I liked it.
Who's in it?
I did.
Who's in it?
James Bond, what is it?
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, Daniel Craig.
I think I did
Chris
see the previews for it.
Evans, I want to say.
Yeah.
Captain America.
Okay. I saw
Jamie
the
Lee
previews.
Curtis.
And I just assumed that it was another James Bond movie when I saw it.
It's good. It's funny. So seen that. Then Saturday we watched UFC fight, which was dope. So for the most part, we just had a really good weekend together. One of her presents I got her for her birthday. You know, I got her a little group out for a card detailing thing because I know she said she's been needing that done. So it was just small things that I've been doing, you know, making strides to us having, you know, a more healthier relationship. So it's nice. It's very calm. You know, we converse a lot about, you know, hey, this is what, you know, I noticed that, you know, you're doing and not doing and things like that. So we're actually having open dialogue between the two. So it works out perfectly. But speaking of the fight, I wanted to segue into something real quick about it. Like one of the things I did want to talk about. So one of the fighters, who named Colby Covington, right? Colby Covington, great wrestler. Not really good with throwing hands like that, but you know, great wrestler. And people who watch UFC, they tend to not care for the wrestlers like that because they don't really knock nobody out. They don't really do much. They kind of just lay on top of you, kind of punch you a little bit, but they don't do much, right? So it's just kind of what?
To be destroyed and break
that's it. Oh, yeah, that's something different. You know, he's a beast. So when it came to this guy, you know, nobody paid him no attention. He was about to get cut from the UFC, and he was in a fight at Brazil, and he won a fight, and then he just goes ahead and starts saying the most disrespectful shit ever. Like, oh, this place is full of filthy animals, the Brazilians, and this and that, like talking cold cash shit about the Brazilians.
Ain't that where what they call them, novellas are?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you don't care with Brazilians.
I'm about to say, do some, I mean.
But, you know, it is what it is.
The military, I mean, the police officers got to be the army out there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he wildin'.
So, then he goes through this whole thing where he comes out, you know, he wins his interim title, and the interim title is like, you know, the title that you win when the champion can't fight at the moment. So they'll give you a belt just like, hey, you're gonna fight the champion once the champion's healthy. So comes out, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna take this and put it on Donald Trump's desk, blah blah blah. Comes out with the MAGA hat on, coming out with Donald Trump Jr.'s book, all that shit. Like he's talking shit.
So wait, hold on, run it back so I can make sure I understand. So they were about to kick him out of the league here in the U.S.
No, not even well, UFC is not a league. It's just an organization.
Okay. Well, they were about to kick him out of the organization.
Yeah, they was gonna cut him because he's like nobody wanted to watch his fights. He wasn't bringing in no type of draw, no type of money. No.
So nothing. Is that why he went to Brazil to fight?
No.
Oh.
Well, he went to Brazil because that was just where the fight was gonna be. So when he was there talking shit, that was his way of keeping himself relevant. So gotcha. Then he goes on a roll just talking shit. Mm-hmm. Just this and that. I'm gonna make UFC great again. I'm gonna make America great. Like, bro, he was talking wild shit. So, in the meantime, there's this African immigrant, Nigerian actually, named Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is a wrestler also, but Kamaru Usman knocks people the fuck out. He beats people up. So Kamaru Usman actually wins the title. Cool, wins the title. Colby Covington is next in line to fight him. Colby Covington is talking shit. Talking cold cash shit. Like disrespect. Okay. There was one of the trainers at some gym in South Florida. I think it was the Black Brazilians gym, but whatever. He died, right? Colby Covington started talking shit about him. He's dead. So he was like, yeah, he died. You know, saying he's watching y'all from hell right now. Yeah, no, I'm being serious. Like, this dude was running the fuck out, yo. Like, wilding out, talking shit about everybody. This one fighter.
How old dude got messed up during the Habib fight when they
McGregor? Yeah, very similar.
Okay.
Very similar.
McGregor's like fake about it.
But he wasn't dead though. He was talking about it.
Yeah, he was just talking about it. So another thing Colby Covington said, like there's a fighter called his name is Matt Hughes. Matt Hughes is like this Hall of Famer, just great guy. He's an all around just really nice guy. Everybody loves him. He ended up getting into a accident with like a train hit his car. So he was gonna die, right? But he came back, he could walk, all that, right? Kobe Covington was like, yeah, you need to take a lesson from that. He was like, he should have learned how to get out of the way when the train is coming. It's like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you?
He's trying to stay relevant.
Yo, yeah. So this dude is known to talk shit. Like he actually did go to the White House and take pictures with Trump, all that shit, right? Cool. So he been talking shit about Kamaru Usman, talking about his heritage, all that shit, right? Just, oh, you a piece of shit, blah, 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 this and that. Cool. The fight comes down, right? So now they fight. Very good fight, just to say this. It was definitely a back and forth. So I can definitely say Kobe Covington has skills. Like, dude can fight. In the third round, Kamaru Usman breaks Kobe Covington's jaw. Like, you see it in slow-mo. His jaw is just, like, dislocated from his shit. The fight's not over, though, because they got 5 rounds in the championship fight.
Wait, if they break your jaw, that doesn't mean the fight's over?
No, it's not done yet. Because he didn't
until you're, like, knocked out or tapped.
Yeah, you got to get knocked out, tapped, or the doctor got like, hey, bro, you can't fight with a broken jaw, which rarely happens.
Well, you can talk shit the rest of the time, so.
Yeah. So you hear him say, like, yo, my jaw's broken. Shit. They showed the video when he broke it, like, his shit was pain, like, so, and this is a close fight again. Like, this is really
the Nutcracker right before Christmas.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, man.
So, 4th round, like I said, it's still a close fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, shit. Like, Kobe Covington might actually win this shit because they actually going back and forth. That 5th round hit, Kamaru Usman going out there do his thing.
Was he still getting hit in the jaw? Like, I'm
about to get to that because Kamaru Usman didn't know his jaw was broke until that 5th round when his corner was like, hey, his jaw's broke. Okay. He goes out there, crack. He falls down. Gets back up. He was like, crack. Falls down again. After a while, the dude
hurts right now.
Yeah, he couldn't get back up. So what ended up happening, like Kobe Covington
to turn out.
Yeah.
Couldn't even say it.
He had hold up signs and shit.
Exactly. So, bro, he loses the fight, right? Because they stopped the fight because there was nothing else he could do. I mean, like I said, it's still a great fight.
Is that normal though? You're allowed to fight with a broken jaw?
Yeah. Bro, you got people fighting with cuts on their eyes and blood and
but
broken
a broken jaw is not the same as a cut above your eye. So was it
cut above your eye is actually
dislocated?
way worse than a broken jaw. Because if it bleeds into your eye or anything like that, they'll stop the fight. Like if the blood is going into your eye, they'll stop that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like if a bone is broken, that could cause like poor circulation.
Yeah,
like medically, if there's a broken bone, like you could have permanent damage to your vessels.
Yeah.
Hey, this is fine.
Bro, they fight with broken hands
for months
sometimes. So
sometimes broken skulls and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
they get cracked up with that.
That's what you signed up for. I mean,
they fighting.
But how long does it take for that to happen? Like, I'm pretty sure after the fight.
And then his jaw wasn't completely just done.
That's how I'm wondering, is it broken or dislocated?
It was broken, but it wasn't to the point where it's like, oh, he can't still talk or whatever it was. He was still able to talk.
I don't know how you get cracked in his jaw after it was broken. That must fucking hurt.
Yeah, that's what happens after the fact. So this is what my question was, because it all came out that all the antics that Kobe Covington was doing and saying all that stuff, that's just an act. Like people who know him, like everybody said it. Like everybody, all the fighters, Dana White, who's the president and all that, they all said like, yo, that's just an act. He's not really like that. Like outside of this, he's the nicest guy in the world. He's very nice. He's actually really respectful. He did all this shit because they knew they was gonna cut. He knew they was gonna cut him, so he needed to, I guess, give himself some type of heat. So my thing is, how do you come back from that? Because number one, you lost after talking all this shit. You can't really come back and say, well, it was an act, because they're like, well, bro, it was an act, but you was really disrespectful. So I was wondering, like, y'all opinions, do you think somebody could come back from that or try to flip that around?
You know what's funny? You know what this low-key sounds like? It sounds like the Tekashi 6ix9ine shit, in a sense.
Kind of does.
I mean, it was like, was doing some bullshit wasn't supposed to be doing, and now he's like, I was just faking all that shit.
I think the mistake was UFC saying it was an act. Nobody should have said it was an act. They should have let him just go down with his persona.
It wasn't just the UFC who said. That's what I'm saying. It was other fighters who said that shit. And then,
but see, if it's other fighters, they can. I mean,
were they saying this the entire time or just after he got his jaw?
That's what I'm saying.
No, before. This was before he got his jaw broke.
Oh, yeah, they were saying it was an act.
I guess they were just vouching for him.
But people, I mean, but obviously, either people either was like, well, it's just an actor. They was like, well, I don't care if it's an actor. I still like what he's doing because it drums up interest. But my thing is, let him come out and say it's an act. I mean, if other fighters go do it, the casual fan will be like, oh, they just hating on him because he's still winning at this point until he got beat. But if the UFC says it makes it, I don't think they should have done that. I think they should have.
But I'm not saying the UFC did it themselves. I'm just saying like Dana White said it, but it was never.
No, like that's what I'm saying. So
that's just Dana White. Dana White just gonna say what the fuck he wants.
But Dana White represents the UFC to the casual fan, so
I guess
That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised UFC didn't shut it down when it first started happening because they don't want to start tying themselves into WWE bullshit.
Right.
Everything's fake.
That's the crazy part. Kind of are.
McGregor started that shit, really.
Not necessarily, because
he blew it up.
They tied themselves into the WWE bullshit when they brought Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I was gonna say Brock Lesnar.
And when Cain Velasquez went over there, and when Ronda Rousey went over there, so it's almost kind of it's like they always had this kind of relationship with it. I mean, you just had The Rock present somebody a belt.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm saying. Like they kind of always been kind of hand in hand with certain things. So I think that was the whole point. Like, hey, let's get some of their fans too, because at the end of the day, the dude acted like he was in wrestling or some shit. The way he was talking, like that's some shit wrestlers would do.
Yeah.
Like, this stinking country and blah blah blah. And let me tell you something, brother. And like, so he was the wild MAGA maniac. I was like, yo, this dude is the MAGA maniac.
Except
right here.
The UFC, they're actually
they're actually fighting. That's the thing. They actually fighting.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew already that once UFC started coming around, that anybody that was a WWE fan would automatically kind of go into UFC. It kind of a lot of people have from what I've seen.
I mean, maybe dude just wanted to be a heel. I mean, that's the term for bad guy in wrestling. I mean, from this point on, I don't think he should change. I don't think he should go to I was just faking now that I lost.
Well, once he said it's faking, though, it kind of becomes,
Well, it sounds like, that talk was already occurring. There's already been a statement made by Dana. Is that
Dana White.
Okay. I mean, I feel like he could just come back and not address it at all, and I don't think the public would make it would make a difference. Like, the public attention span is really short. Like,
you know how I know he could do that? Because Conor McGregor, I mean, he still kind of talks a little bit of shit.
Oh yeah, see, and I forgot already what happened.
And that's the thing though, Conor McGregor ain't even talking shit like that no more. Like, he got a fight coming up next month, right? Before all this, he used to talk shit. Now he just out here like, yo, hey man, I'm looking forward to.
He was talking shit before he got all that Floyd Mayweather money. Then he got business interests outside of UFC. When he was just focused on fighting, he was with that shit.
Yeah.
Now he got a taste of interest outside of fighting, so he's like, I don't got to do all this shit.
He got a family.
I got business outside of here. I don't have to dedicate everything to fighting like I did before. So
very true.
His mentality is different than other fighters.
That's a good way to look at it. But like I said, me personally, I feel like Colby Covington, he can come back from it because the dude can fight. That's the one thing that kind of, helps him in this whole situation. It's not like the guy can't fight. Like, the dude can fight. Like, imagine somebody fighting you for 25 minutes, right? And putting complete, continuous pressure on you. Meaning they're just on you. They're never backing off of you. They're going to keep wrestling on you. They're going to keep throwing punches. And you don't have to throw a lot of punches. He doesn't knock people out, but he throws punches until it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I'm tired of getting hit. You know what I'm saying? The dude can fight.
And
so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if he would have he could have still had, talk your shit, but he didn't have to go so far, out of bounds with it. Like, bro, talk your shit about, even if you talk about Brazil, whatever, cool. Why are you talking about dead people, bro? Like, that's the part that people was like, all right, you going a little bit too far, man. Like, that's
I think it's one of those things where it's kind of like Omar Epps in Too Deep.
Yeah.
Where he played a character and he just became a caricature of the character he playing.
Yeah.
So he just got deeper and deeper into it because he like, I done already went down this path. I'm just gonna continue to. But the thing that saves him is that he can actually fight. Now, if he was a nigga talking all this shit and he was like a Brooklyn Brawler, they'd be like, oh, if you don't know who Brooklyn Brawler is, you Google that shit.
A little fisticuffs.
Trash.
I keep saying that, Jake, every time you play this shit, I'm like, Jake, why you do that, bud?
But because he can fight, even if he continues talking. The key to it all is him winning after this fight. If he can come back and go on another win streak and be up for another title fight, I think he can continue on with that persona. Yeah. Regardless if people think it's real or not, they're like, now he's winning and he's
So if he comes back after this, because he's gonna be out for a while because of that job. But if he comes back and gets beat up by everybody else, then it's like, oh yeah, you about to get cut, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
So that he put a lot of pressure on himself going down that road because now he has to win. Because now people are like, you talk all that shit and you suck, get him out of here. So,
exactly. So yeah, I just wanted to see what y'all may or may not have thought about that little situation.
I mean, yeah, I think he can come back. I think that the route that he took was a cheap route. I think the route that he took was a cheap route. Like I just, especially placating to the base that he did, or pandering to the base that he did. Like it doesn't take much to gaslight that base. So any extra fire from someone that with some celebrity status, it's just it's dangerous. Like I ain't really with that part, but
he basically did a Trump.
I wanted to touch on something. Well, it was one other thing, but something just came on my mind.
What's up?
I don't know if y'all talked about it, but I've been wanting to talk about it.
What?
I mean,
It's okay, just roll.
I don't know if y'all talked about the Juice WRLD.
the young man that
I don't know nothing about him.
I know a little bit.
I just know he had a seizure at an airport.
Yes.
You know why, right? You know
from supposed alleged drug overdose.
Yeah, because I think the feds pulled him over or got him on a plane or whatever, and they were searching his stuff. I guess he had some Molly or.
So this was on the radio. I be listening to the reports in the morning. They said that the pilot of the jet called while they were en route, saying that they had some issues with the plane. I guess as far as weight goes, and there was 70 pounds of weed on the plane. But they're not, according to the radio. I think it was like 105.3 or something. According to the radio personality, they're not going to charge anyone with it because they can't
First of
really
all,
prove
if I'm a rapper, I don't even want no pilot like that. Like, bro, you snitching about my weed?
But at the same time, he brought
going on this plane.
70 fucking.
So they ain't got shit to do with the pilot fly the plane.
No, it does because they're like if something goes wrong, like the weight that they have on a plane, like that's important. Like so if it's off, they have to be able to account for that.
And also, if they catch the pilot,
that's their responsibility.
Damn, Josh, you should.
I'm saying if I'm a rapper, I'm like, bro.
Well, look,
I mean, if that's the case, he should have waited till he got his own plane.
Yeah,
that wasn't his plane.
Yeah, and at the same time, if they caught the pilot, like let's say they did precursor search and the pilot knew that dude was shit on the plane, he's done with his career.
I'm probably gonna say I knew he had 70 rounds.
Bro, that's that pilot's job, so I kind of understand.
I listened to they started playing one of his songs on the radio.
I don't know none of his songs. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh crap! I don't know.
But I was just gonna say,
70 pounds of weed make me going down.
It's kind of like this. My thing about it. A lot of people, of course, are showing their respects to him and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, and it segues to, I don't know if y'all know, familiar with Wack 100, Games Manager. He was talking about Nipsey Hussle.
Oh,
and he said Nipsey's not a legend. He said he hasn't dropped enough music. You know, he don't have a catalog basically, and we throwing out the legend status for like Nipsey Hussle.
I do agree with that though.
And that's kind of like what people are saying.
It doesn't have to be a musical status though. Like I think in Nipsey's case, it doesn't have to be a musical status for him to.
I can agree with that one. But as far as a musical,
but some people are saying he's a musical.
I would.
I mean, I don't even know enough about his career.
I mean, he has some good music, but I wouldn't say.
I would say he don't have a catalog.
He don't have nothing where it was like #1 album.
Yeah, he don't have no Biggie or Tupac shit, like nothing like that.
But I've seen comments of people who like shout out to the legend Juice WRLD, just like how when XXX died, and people were calling him a legend as well. I think people throw out the legends title.
Yeah.
What's the word?
Post hastily, is that what you're saying?
After they die, it's a word for it.
Post-mortem?
Something post-human.
Okay.
Something like that.
Bro, stop using big words. That's not your thing.
Yeah, it is my thing.
Damn, I said you trying to box that man in.
But I think that people are too quick to throw out the legend status for an artist. After they die, they don't have the catalog.
Yeah, I mean, well, see, them saying it versus the reality are two different things. So, like, you'll probably remember Nipsey Hussle, but you won't remember Juice WRLD. That's basically what's going to be the proof. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that.
I mean, in the future, it's kind of like whatever, based on what he's done, Nipsey's done and stuff like that, that's going to be remembered. You know what I'm saying? versus maybe Juice WRLD, who maybe wasn't as prevalent even
Man,
as.
he still had a fan base.
Yeah, he did, but his fan base is going to remember him, or somebody else new is going to come across that sounds just like him and replace him.
I get what Oz is saying though. Like when it came to Nipsey was known for many other things than rap, so we can see how he can be remembered. Whereas Juice WRLD, he's known for what maybe a couple of songs.
Yeah,
you know.
And
I
mean, his.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know the song. I'm like, there's no disrespect to him.
Yeah,
like I'm not trying to.
I'm not disrespecting.
No,
him.
I'm just saying, like I see why what Oz is saying. Like I don't think
Like give it 20 years.
I think,
like are we gonna remember Juice WRLD?
Well, first I think like
I don't.
I do agree that the term legend is thrown around really loosely,
Right.
especially in the music business. But in general, like when people die, people always want to speak highly of them. I ain't really for that shit. Like if I die, tell them I was an asshole.
Look,
thank you.
How long? How long Michael Jackson been dead, and he's still
lost
making
this
documentary
bitch.
shit on
Yeah.
YouTube?
I want to talk about that
listen,
too.
you
We'll
know
talk
what I'm
about
saying?
that.
But
Here we go.
so I just like to me personally, when I think of a person that is a legend, whether it be musically or in the community or whatever, I judge what are you leaving behind and how long is it going to have an impact.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I don't doubt that the Juice WRLD. Okay, I don't
See, you
doubt
can't even
that.
remember his name.
Listen.
Ooh, you ain't shit.
I was trying to get it right. I was trying to get it right.
Look, Juicy
It
Fruit.
sounds like.
Look, Juicy Fruit. That name. What his name
I was
is?
trying to get it right. It sounds like,
First,
from what
I
I
thought she was taking
understand,
a wrong turn. I thought she said.
It sounds
Juice WRLD.
like, from what I understand, it sounds like the generation like behind me, I guess, or like behind me eyes or whatever. Like they really rock with his music. Like they felt like it was impactful. But I feel like if you're gonna be considered a legend in any shape or form, something you've done, something you've created, has to leave a lasting impact. I feel like with Nipsey, with the block that he purchased, with his clothing line, with the people that he's mentored, those things will live on. You know what I'm saying? Or
Even legends think he's a legend. Like that's
yeah. So you just to me, that's what it means to be a legend. Something has your impact has to stand the test of time. And I just I don't know much about what he's done.
But the counter there, Wack was saying y'all wouldn't think he was a legend when he was doing it when he was living.
Exactly.
Yes.
Only when he died, then we said, okay, his impact outside of music, even though he died, made him a legend. When
That's
he
the
was
same
alive,
thing with
nobody
X.
was saying that.
That's the
Well,
same
I'll be honest, I didn't know much about like I didn't even know this man existed until I saw him on the news when they highlighted that he was like decorating the community and stuff. I had no idea who the hell the man was, and I was like, oh shit, that's cool. Let me see what he about. So it could be a case of exposure. You know, when you die, everybody knows, especially when you die like that.
Yeah, everybody loves you when you're dead.
I don't know.
Well, Biggie said you're nobody till somebody kills you.
Yep.
That's
You
why.
would know.
So I finally watched that Irishman movie.
How was it?
Oh, good.
I kept watching it.
I gotta watch it.
And then it was funny because the whole the movie's about Jimmy Hoffa and all that shit. And Robert De Niro at the end was saying these young kids don't even know who he is and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty much how a lot of these rappers and all that stuff is.
Yeah, but see, they always try to live the life kind of like them though, like the old gangsters and shit. They always trying to copy off.
Well,
that
I
shit.
would. So the two songs that I did hear by Juice WRLD and a couple of other rappers, just in the morning going where I'm going. It doesn't sound like, I feel like a lot of times I hear, we shooting niggas, we having babies, we fucking bitches, but I also hear I've been through some shit and I gotta drink, I gotta smoke, I gotta do all these things to self-medicate. So
That's what they were saying about Juice WRLD. They say that a lot of his songs are about drug use. Because he was going through some shit. He was expressing through music. So I don't know necessarily if he was living a gangster lifestyle.
We just got a lot of.
I don't know much about him. I do know a lot of his music had drug content in it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that was his way of crying out for help.
Well, there was I
rappers.
forgot the name. It was a young rapper. I forgot the name, but he was I don't know why I can't think of this guy's name right now. It's escaping me. But anywho, he was saying how.
You moving there?
Oh.
Bro, what y'all doing?
Nah, he sound like they don't want to sound like. I said good.
He was saying how when he started, he was on lean, something serious, really, really serious, and because it was just what he had experienced. And so while some rappers do, like Tekashi, come in and fake what they live in, a lot of these rappers that are coming out now, they really are living this life. They really do see their homeboys die. They really, you know what I'm saying? They see all of these things. They live in lives like Kodak Black or whoever, and so I don't think what they're rapping about is fake, and I think that's why it speaks to a different generation from ours.
I'm not,
you know
I'm
what I'm
not
saying?
down
Like,
with it,
so Jono say,
what are you saying,
I
Darren?
had to go though.
Darren, what you trying to say? You came up here. Might as well talk.
I don't think Juice WRLD was trying to live a gangster lifestyle. I think he was very depressed, and the drugs helped him with that. So that's what he rapped about.
Did you listen to his music before he
Yeah,
died?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
See, this the
I was
generation
there.
behind us.
Actually,
Like
hold on.
3 years behind
Hold
me.
on. Hold on.
Barely.
We in the same generation. But
So,
He's like 20.
when was he born?
95.
Bro, why y'all want about the man's age?
Barely in
Oh, man,
there.
y'all gotta leave the legend Darren alone. bro.
Barely in the
I just
millennial
think-
crew. You
I
know,
just
94 to
think-
96 is iffy.
With Juice WRLD, the whole situation, because I'm sure you've had Miley Cyrus or Lindsay Lohan get on the same type of plane, and the pilots never said anything.
But they wouldn't. They ain't have.
They
weed.
own the plane.
They own.
No,
They probably do. They didn't have weed. They definitely didn't have
We
weed.
definitely didn't have 70 pounds worth of weed.
They had Suboxone.
I think what the issue was, what the
And they
big
have
stipulation was, the fact that the pilot even told, when you've never heard of that in this industry, have you ever? Besides this event, have you ever heard of that?
In this industry, no. But for pilots, that's what they're supposed to do.
Right, but have you ever heard of that in this industry?
No.
Wait.
But
I think-
How you know this is the first time
I don't,
somebody's brought
I was about to
70
say, I
pounds
don't
of
agree.
weed?
I don't agree with.
sounds like it
I don't
happens a
agree
lot.
with criticizing
Yeah,
the
I'm
pilot
pretty
for
sure.
doing that
Right, no,
pilot's
no.
job. Like,
I'm just saying in general, did he mess up? Yes. Did the pilot have to do that?
yes, it's his
Darren,
job.
wait,
Yes.
Darren. Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Think about 70 pounds of weed, right? Why are you carrying that? That's like almost trafficking.
That is.
No,
It
That's
is
exactly-
trafficking.
that's
It's
exactly-
not
that's not
almost.
like what that is. That's exactly what that
The
is.
reason why I think it was wrong is because the pilot just didn't get paid enough to not tell. And I think that's the
How do
big
you
issue.
know?
Darren,
That's
get
an
your ass back.
I
assumption.
think I just think
But how
that's
do you
the
know
issue.
that?
Darren,
You have no
Because
proof of that.
70
No,
pounds of weed.
You've had people carry drugs and all that
Yes,
stuff. on
but
the-
was he the pilot
and
on
this
that
was
plane?
this was a private plane.
Was he the pilot? But how do you know he was the pilot when
Not a
other
private
people were
pilot,
carrying
though.
drugs? There are a lot of parameters that you're making assumptions about that
Right.
don't apply. Like we don't know
But
what
like
this
I
pilot has
said-
done.
Like I said, this has probably happened before, and nobody's ever said anything about
Darren.
it.
But if he did, he not wrong.
70 pounds of weed.
That's like, hey, listen,
Darren,
you let 3 or 4
Go back over
murders
there,
go, but
That
just
was-
because this murder was
God,
black,
so-
you gonna arrest him,
But
nigga?
no.
Yes.
You lied about your baggage stuff.
I
And
think
you, like,
what
it's like
Darren's trying to
smuggling-
say is if the dude hadn't died, the pilot wouldn't have said shit. Now maybe the pilot was
Well,
operating.
then the pilot already called while he was in the air.
Yeah, he
before
called.
He already
died.
called. Well,
Yes,
yeah.
he
The reason why-
called
wait.
him on the way.
Probably
Like,
the
hey,
reason
well,
why.
and he
Low
didn't
key.
say, "Hey, there's weed on the plane." He said, "Hey, something's off with the weight on the plane." Like that's what was reported.
Also, yeah. Oh, so
Yes,
specifically
that
saying-
they didn't
There
know
was
it
a
was
weight.
weed. Yes, there was.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
there was an issue with the
Okay,
weight.
so that's
So
why.
that's why we saying.
And then
Right.
had to do
and
it.
now whoever called the DEA, FDA, whoever,
It'd be
it's not
DEA.
DEA, okay, DEA, traffic control, all of that, like
ATF,
that was their
definitely.
reasoning to do that. Now
Right.
maybe they did make that assumption because okay, there's a young black rapper on the plane, it's probably drugs, but that's shitty. But I mean, he has to report that shit.
That's true.
Because, like I said,
Yeah,
that,
there you go.
that pilot didn't know it was weed. He could have thought it was people or, like,
I mean,
statues
70
and
pounds
shit.
could be 2 small kids.
Right,
Just saying.
exactly.
Could be some,
Could be
some
extra-
extra, could be extra luggage,
Right.
right? No,
Yeah,
could've
because
been like,
on
yeah,
top of
could've
that, I guarantee you that shit was snuck on there because he would have already known the weight before,
Well,
and then I'm pretty sure
according
after the
to
fact.
the radio personality, the reason why no one's being charged is because whoever stuck it on there did a damn good job. There's no prints, no residual, nothing. Like nothing. Like Ghost put it on
Might
there.
be the
So he
pilot.
was like,
Yo,
fuck
this be
it.
some cartel.
could be the pilot.
It could have
There
been.
might be some cartel.
Covered
I'm
his-
scared.
covered his own ass.
I'm
Yeah.
scared.
Could have been a pilot.
And then the cartel told him like, if you don't do
Or
this,
not even that. It could have been some kind of mechanic too.
Could have been. We don't
Yeah.
know.
Could have been.
It's usually the case. Most of the
shit.
Yeah,
Small-
Why
Smuggling
not
shit,
you
some
juice?
stuff.
But,
Shit.
I mean, no one was charged, so,
Yeah.
you know.
No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
I mean,
He didn't even have to die if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody was charged. Because he was, I'm pretty sure he got a seizure because he took some of the mollies or something like
oh,
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, he like that's what happened.
Oh, he's a
So
person.
he was hiding it, so he ate some, and that's why he got a seizure.
Oh, I ain't hear that
Oh,
part.
yeah, but Molly's and weed is two different drugs.
Yeah.
No, but he had drugs anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not
But I'm
saying
saying if he had, 70 pounds of weed.
No, I'm not saying he might have not even had the 70 pounds of weed. Somebody put that on there. That's what Kia's saying.
Oh, but you're saying when he heard that there was law enforcement there,
Yeah, he was like, oh
started,
shit.
Like,
And he tried to hide his drugs that he already did have.
well, he had to already be high because
And-
there's so many places like that you could have put that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, when you're high up in the air, one of the things you probably shouldn't do is get high.
yeah, because your tolerance is a lot lower.
A
And
friend
plus,
of mine actually
and plus
got-
altitude
they
messes
had
with your
to-
blood.
They had to
Yeah.
They had to actually take the plane down early. Like they were coming from Las Vegas back to the East Coast, and they had to put the plane down in Denver because he had a fucking anxiety attack because he was too high,
Yeah.
and he couldn't get back on the plane like at all. They had to drive back.
That's like when I was living in Denver, man. Like being in that altitude too. Talk about like when you first get out there, you can only have 2 beers and you're completely drunk. Like you just finished off like a full 6-pack by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's creepy as hell.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all.
Interesting. Oh my goodness.
I was watching what butt you're hitting. I was making sure you weren't gonna hit the.
I was about to. But Josh, you got one more thing you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, the whole
Oprah thing.
yeah, 50 Cent was saying that Oprah. He was saying Oprah Winfrey because I guess you got a documentary coming out
Yeah.
about
Russell Simmons.
Russell Simmons.
Yeah.
And 50 saying that he feels Oprah Winfrey only goes after accused black sexual predators, but not white.
Wait, I thought the stuff against Russell Simmons wasn't that resolved or no? It wasn't.
Well,
She's
from what I
still-
heard, he
she's
had
still
like a
on
lie
the
detector test in
documentary
his past.
about
he took a lie detector test and he passed. Oh, okay.
That's what I heard.
Oh, okay. So wait, so what's the documentary about? Like, is the documentary on the victims or is it on him? Like, will he be participating?
I doubt if
Probably
he'll be a
not.
participant.
I think he'll probably.
I think it's about
From my perspective.
Oh, okay.
So.
But and then people got on her about the whole Michael Jackson thing. Like he was all buddy with him, and then after he passed, you do a documentary on him 10 years after his death or whatever.
Yeah.
So 50 was just basically like he was showing pictures where she was all hugged up on Harvey Weinstein, and
You know what? That's good that 50 did that shit. Expose these other rich people that's trying to call up other rich people.
and other predators with or accused sexual.
Predators, yeah. And she ain't did nothing about
She ain't did
that.
nothing about none of that. She ain't had no documentaries or commented or anything about them. So he just saying basically he feels like she only attacks her own without attacking everyone who is accused of sex, basically sex crimes or whatever.
Mhm.
Sounds like a case of.
Jeffrey Epstein, all them. She ain't said nothing about none of them.
It sounds like a case of she ain't keeping the same image.
Basically, that's what he's
Like
saying.
if you gonna do that, it's all in fine, but you gotta do it with everybody. Like you can't pick and choose when you want to make these type of documentaries and exposés and whatever it is you want to do, and it's only against African American males. It's like you gotta do that with everybody. If that's the case, because it's really and truly, if that's the case, Harvey Weinstein should be your number one person you should doing that too. Then,
Especially
'cause come on now,
buddy with him.
Exactly. So I mean,
So then my question would be, does she not have access to the complainants for these people? Because I know like with Michael Jackson, like a lot of, or not just with Michael Jackson, but a lot of times when people go through these types of litigations and things of that nature, like you get paid a settlement, and in that settlement you can't talk about shit for however many years or whatever. So I'm curious to know, like, is that something that Harvey Weinstein did, or is that something that like?
I don't know.
Well, they said Harvey Weinstein got to pay out money to those victims, like $25 million.
Yeah. So that's what I'm wondering.
So
like,
I don't know.
is
So
it
you
a-
saying like did they start? What was it? NDA?
Yes. Well, sometimes if they settle, if it's a case of settle versus being like it being an actual like him. Wait, he was charged though, right? Like this was.
I think he was charged.
This isn't a settlement. He was charged.
I think he was trying, but I don't think he did no jail time.
Okay. Because like if he was charged, then it's probably restitution, which probably means that he doesn't have to pay, or they don't have to keep quiet. But if it was a settlement, a lot of times a part of the settlement is you got to be quiet or you got to pay his money back. So
Yeah, I remember.
I would
something like
be
that, 'cause that's what,
curious to know
Trump
if
had
that
for
plays a role in it
his
too.
damage.
Because I mean, a lot of these older rich white guys who are in Hollywood, like they've been doing this shit for a long time. That's a part of it. So I wonder if that's not something that maybe other people have done. like Russell Simmons or maybe Michael Jackson's settlement or whatever ran out. I don't know. I'm just saying. It does look bad. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying, could there be more to the story?
I mean, I'm sure there is more to the story. I mean, we're just taking it for surface value right now. You know?
Yeah.
Did Oprah say anything?
Why
Not
would
that I
she?
know of.
She don't need to.
I know, right?
She probably like, who? 50 who?
She know who 50 Cent is.
Well, you know, she had her whole beef with rappers back in the day.
Yeah,
you know?
50 been on her
Not
show.
to mention, I could see how she would have a blind side. I mean, her story, like she was raped by her uncle, a black man, and ended up getting pregnant.
Yeah,
so
she probably has like a lot.
yeah, that's probably a bias of hers.
I mean, I
believe it.
That's a person. I mean, I can see how there could be a bias of hers, but for black people, we're looking at it like, damn. I mean, you like he said, you gotta have that same energy for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And then these are people that you're so-called friends with when they were alive. Like, for instance, Michael Jackson's supposed to be a friend of his. And once he died, you want to do a documentary where, what was it, Finding Neverland or whatever, where they throwing dirt on his name.
What, we talking about the recent one? Was it true?
Yeah.
Oh, the recent one.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
And then you want to do one on Russell Simmons. Like I said, she's friends. She knows all these people, white, black,
It's
all.
almost like
So I would be curious to know what Russell Simmons has to say
bro,
about
you about to
it.
put Russell Wilson
My
out
bad.
there?
Damn.
My bad. Sorry,
man.
sorry, girl.
Don't
Sorry.
be like that.
No, I'd be curious to see what Russell Simmons has to say about it. I mean, if they're
Oh,
cool,
he
I'm sure
said,
they run in the same circles.
I actually had a quote that he said.
Okay, yeah, I'd be curious to know how he feels about it.
Josh.
Just curious.
Yeah, because I want to.
I feel like she has a lot of dirt on people. A lot.
I mean, when you
She's
in that
not
industry,
I mean,
you
she's
have
been in the
everybody
industry
has
for
dirt on
a
everybody.
long ass time.
So I mean,
Long time.
I'm just wondering the kind of dirt that's gonna come out of Oprah. I want to know what kind
Whatever
of wild
it
shit
is.
she did.
I don't know.
They probably did.
I know Oprah.
Maybe.
Yeah, she probably.
She worth like $5 billion now. So
Bro, y'all keep forgetting.
They probably
From
did.
Chicago, bro.
they probably did.
Yeah,
No.
Oprah is savage. Right?
Yeah.
Probably ain't
She was
coming out.
probably like a
Probably
OG.
did.
She from Oprah.
Those secrets are never coming out.
Never
Hell
know.
no. Like, you won't hear about them shit
Probably
until
buried.
like
They probably buried underneath the
2085. You be like, damn, bro, it's 2085. We just
Kids
heard
be
about
like,
it.
who's so proud?
Exactly. Somebody gonna be
Stedman got a lot to say. I know. You just been saying
Stedman living his best life.
exactly. Stedman ain't saying she's like, man, I'm just.
You lost the shit, bro?
Yeah,
you did. Yeah.
Okay, well, you know.
If I find it out,
That was petty.
Perfect.
Oh man, exactly.
That was very petty.
But I do feel like, you know, again, if you're gonna go ahead and do that, Oprah, come on, keep the same energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I agree. If you're gonna do it to one, you gotta do it to everybody. I agree with that.
Yeah,
Do you think that
opportunists?
Do you think that it's the point that she thinks that all the cracker movies are all the same shit? Like all these people are crazy or going crazy, so she's like, let's look at the other side of it, shit too. I don't know.
I don't know. And then there's also the case of, and I feel like a lot. I know, like I've heard it before, like especially within the Black community. Once you, like, some Black people feel the need to show that they're harder on their own because they don't want to be perceived as, oh, you showing favoritism or you doing this or doing that. Like, I've heard that before, so I don't know. I mean, I'll be curious. I mean, she probably won't speak on it, but I would be curious to see what she has to say about it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'll be curious.
If she keeps quiet, you know, that means she lost.
I mean, well, she ain't concerned.
Yeah.
Oh, she not
I'm
concerned.
still looking for that shit, bro.
She's gonna let it die.
Hey, y'all go ahead.
Whatever, I'm still making money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
I think the last thing, even though, you know, I don't like talking about shit when it comes to Trump, but I guess
The impeachment
yeah.
proceedings
So I guess they went ahead and went forward with it
in the House.
In the House.
Yes,
So it's gonna be going to vote.
to Senate.
Yep.
It's already been voted on in the House.
Yeah. So very interesting times.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Because, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, I feel like ain't nothing going to really happen.
Nope. Well, here's the thing, though, that people don't know. All the House can do is vote on impeachment. Basically, vote on it going to the next level.
Yeah.
It says Trump impeached, but he's still going to stay in office. He's still going to keep his power.
Yeah.
This is where it goes. It goes to the Senate. The Senate decides if it goes to trial to remove him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So the Senate is Republican controlled.
Yeah.
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 You know what I'm saying? So let's just
All
say
those courts.
they say, hey, we don't find Trump guilty of anything. Then all this is for naught. Like, it's,
Yeah, it was
I
kind
mean,
of
it'll still be on the books in the House, but no,
it'll still be it'll go down in history as him being
Yeah.
impeached. But Trump, if he's still in power and he's up for re-election, that's
Fake
just say he gets
news.
re-elected again. Like,
Fake news.
they impeached me, I'm still here, nigga.
Yo,
What the fuck you talking
It's
about?
gonna, it's gonna
Mouth
boost
shut.
his, it's gonna boost
Stop.
his
If
ego.
anything,
more.
I think this is gonna be.
God.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is going to backfire in Democrats' face. If the Senate don't vote to remove him, this is only going to embolden him because he's going to feel like John Gotti, like he the Teflon Don out here. Like,
He already feels that way.
Yeah, he already go
So,
by that.
I always
Teflon
say,
Don.
and this is something that I don't agree with. First of all, I agree that he should be impeached based on the behavior that was done.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the articles that, in case anybody's wondering, there were 2 articles, and it was for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. So based on what I read and what I've seen, I agree that he broke those laws. I agree with that, but I don't agree that it should be used as a political move. I understand the purpose of doing it at the end, like towards the end of his term. But I don't think it should be used as a political move, and this is something I think that the Democrats are gonna. This is what's gonna like shoot them in the foot. And I've heard like I'm listening to the debates and shit, and they all like even when they could ask them, what do you think about the starving children across the world? And they gonna say, well, first of all, Trump. And I'm like,
oh my, yes.
nigga, let it go.
That's why like this whole thing was
no
like,
nigga intended, but you know what I'm saying?
Yo,
like, just let it go.
And I love the words like, Trump. And then they use the trigger word, dangerous, world's gonna end.
So basically, what they're
Murder your
gaslighting.
children.
They're using the same tactics that Trump used. Like they're gaslighting, inciting fear. And here's the thing: like if you know his base, then you know that regardless of what you say, they not gonna believe you. Like the transcripts of the phone call, it's in black and white. It's videos. Like the Daily Show went out and did interviews. They were like, "You want to read the transcript?" He was like, "Nah, I don't need to read it. You try to impeach him." Obviously, that is not the way to get to the voters that are voting for Trump. That is not the way that you do it. The way that you do it, in my opinion, is you reach those people on a level that Trump could not. Like to all the farmers that he promised their situation will be better. Reach those people. All the coal miners who were supposed to get jobs back because coal's gonna make a comeback. Reach those people. Like that's who you gotta reach out to on that level.
And now you see the problem with politics and all these politicians and shit. They're not trying to reach the level like that. They're not trying to, try to hit everybody with that facts like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just a fucking publicity, like a publicity stunt. It's all like for popularity and shit.
It's bullshit.
This is like a Twitter war type shit. You know what I'm saying? They be saying all
that's politics is.
You know what burns my
Politics
most?
All it is like a giant America's, or what is it called? American Idol.
Yeah,
I
politics.
agree.
So you call in, you pick your vote, and they're gonna say whatever the hell they think that's gonna make you, appreciate them. And
who's Paula?
I mean,
not to know for me,
But
dog.
I agree, and the pandering is so obvious.
Nancy Pelosi
It's offensive. Like when I saw like the first debate I watched, I saw Cory Booker and I saw Beto.
Trash.
I saw like they took 20 seconds out of their 30-second response to speak in elementary skill level Spanish, dog. Like it was obvious. Like Beto fucked up one of the words. Like
Trump, El Battle,
like that's not
gotta
it,
go.
dog. It's like the pandering is so serious. It's like awful. And Cory Booker too.
Like what, dude? What are you talking about?
I feel like even with Cory Booker, I think he got some good ideas. I think that he would be really good about working with everyone, but he has this chip on his shoulder about trying to prove that he from the black and brown community and he's still there and his parents dealt with black and white and blah. Okay, I get that. That's cool. It's wonderful. Great. Gotcha.
What else you got to talk about?
You're for the people. Some people. Hopefully all. But anywho, like you need more. You can't just pander to the black and brown community. It's not gonna work, dog. It's not gonna work.
That's literally not how
It's not gonna work.
I mean, maybe it is working. That's why they're doing it for some,
That shit's crazy to me, dog. But I don't know. Say.
I think
I actually like
politics
Tom
more
Sawyer.
is.
that
I
his
think
name?
politics
Sayers.
have changed to pander more to a corporation than actual people.
Oh, absolutely. But that's why I don't know how true it is. He's putting in his commercials and shit. But that's why I like Sayers, because he has a lot to say about like, basically standing up to big corporations and getting back to
That's what,
being for the people and all this other stuff and blah 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 blah. But
that's what they always say. And then the next thing you know, he's taking side bids into
well,
his
here's the
pocket.
thing: he doesn't need it. He's a billionaire. He doesn't need it.
You know, I'm worried.
They don't
about
need it, but none of them need it, but they still take
I
it.
think that's the biggest problem with American politics, where even though Cory Booker, I mean, he has to pander to a certain crowd, but on one aspect, too many politicians are rich men, so they I think when they in that level, they can't connect to the average American citizen.
Mm.
You know, they can
Unless they
they'll listen
started from the
to
bottom.
what we say.
Yeah, sorry.
But they can't relate to struggling to pay bills or health care or things of that nature. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's hard for
I
them
can understand that. I
to
definitely
identify
see
with the
that.
average American
That's
citizen.
equal.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say they cater more to corporations, because corporations
Yeah.
are the ones throwing money
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But-
here's the thing, though, right? So there was actually, was it 3 Democrats that voted against it or something like that?
Yeah, so that's the other
That's
thing.
what I wanna
Like
know.
they were
Who
voting.
said-
All the votes were down party. First of all, when they voted to start the official impeachment hearing, that was down the party line. But then tonight, when they showed the votes, like for one, it was 229 to 197, and then the other one, no, it was 230 to 197, and then 229 to like 190 something. I don't know, but either way, all of the Democrats didn't vote with their party. Some of them was like, nah, fuck that. And then there were 3 people who didn't vote and one that just voted president. So.
Because it's such a hot topic. I mean,
Yo, they was like, you know what? I ain't getting into this shit. Fuck it.
Right, because some of them are still trying to keep that
I feel like some
their
of them-
character. Like,
Yeah.
listen, like this is kind of like all like
And
we
it's-
all know it's not going to
guess
go
what?
anywhere.
It's
So
a
I'm gonna
handful of
hang
people.
back
It's
and
a
try to keep
handful
my
of people.
I'm going to keep my job because I work for the house.
Yeah, it's like a handful of people that's doing that though. So that it gives me no
just
hope.
A little bit, yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we all, when I first heard the impeachment, I thought that he would be removed from office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what
we
we
talked about
It's a
last time.
process. Yeah,
But-
it's a process.
And when I looked into it further, I realized it's a second step.
Yeah, it's a process.
The
When I heard it, I was
There's
like, at this, I was
3
like,
steps.
when I heard it, I was like, shit. At this point, Nancy, for what, girl? Just let it ride. Like,
Y'all like
Yeah, who's gonna take charge? Is it gonna be
Pence.
Pence.
Do you
Yeah.
guys want
Which is
that?
worse. 10 times
Yeah.
I'm
worse.
about to say,
Well,
Pence gonna have us living like a handmaid's
Yeah.
tale. Like, I ain't gonna hold you, dog.
This is the thing though. Him for just a year, barely a year.
I'm scared.
I'm
Him
It's-
with the
there's
executive
only
power, because he
there's
can
only
do the
but so
same
much he
thing.
can do,
No,
right?
Now
he
you can
no.
actually put
He
the
can
Bible
sign
back in
executive
school.
orders for anything. That's how Obama got all his shit passed, executive orders, which is why it was so easily overturned, because it wasn't voted on, it was just signed.
Yeah,
So it was
that's
easily overturned.
terrible. This is what I think should happen. Like, even in this case, even if I feel like the president, even before it gets to the Senate and they vote to remove you from office, if you've been impeached by the House, I think you should lose some kind of executive powers. Like, you shouldn't be able
well,
to make some kind of.
technically he does for right now. It's his power suspended, so he can't do anything at the moment.
Damn it, we can get that bonus or that raise.
No, that's already signed.
Yeah.
Well, that's how-
That's all I'm worried
That's
about.
fine.
And that was already
That's all I'm worried about. I don't care about this shit. I'm trying to get paid.
that's already my bank account. So I don't even care.
I said this on
But
multiple
and the other thing I was kind of happy with this whole impeachment bullshit going on is that they didn't shut the shit down.
That's what I'm
You know
trying
what
to
I mean?
understand. They agreed on some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
so-
before
that was so-
while the impeachment's happening, just pause. Let's
Give
agree
these
on this shit
motherfuckers
right
their-
here. Let's agree on this shit right
Yeah.
here.
What
Like,
are they-
Bitcoin,
Let's
something trillion.
pass this shit
Listen,
off into. Well,
all
no,
the-
what they did was they sit there and they're like, the budget still sucks. We're gonna delay that until next year. Let's talk about this impeachment shit. All right.
all the analysts is like, listen, if y'all have another one, it's a wrap. Like planes falling out the sky, y'all don't want it. Like just don't,
Bruh,
just don't.
y'all
But
wanna
yeah,
do
I've
that?
always said one thing I appreciated, and I'll say it all the time. One thing I appreciate about this presidency is it highlights the amount of power that the presidential office has, or whoever the presidential candidate or president has, and it shouldn't, like, there is no, in my opinion, there aren't any real checks and balances for the president's behavior before. Like, there's nothing that's proactive. Everything is reactive. Like, oh well, if they did this, then we got to vote in the House, we got to vote in the Senate, blah blah blah, XYZ. But there's just certain things that you shouldn't be allowed to do,
yeah.
even as the president. Like,
But I feel like-
you shouldn't
I feel
just
like-
have that
and-
much power.
And
I
then
feel
that's
like-
why I kind of get confused when, like, then people are like, oh, well, guns need to be all banned in America. But America's law state in the beginning was the reason why we had the right to bear arms.
It's
was
so if the military run up in this thing.
Yeah.
We can defend ourselves.
But you see, I really truly feel like no president has really acted like crazy
And that's
until
what it
now.
is. So
that's why they didn't think about
but
putting the rule down.
that's the problem. That right there is the problem, and it happens even on a more local level, like with governors, like what happened in Georgia. There is no reason why the second in command for the incumbent should have been over the votes.
Well, let's go to another governor. The governor of Kentucky, before he left, let out 400 inmates. Some of them
He
were
let out
murdered.
a shit ton of
That
inmates.
was him being petty.
He did. He was fucking petty, dog. He was petty. That was
Convicted
petty as
murderers,
shit.
he
Why
let
do you
them
have
out.
that much power?
Wait.
Control. Yes,
Yes.
he did.
Wait.
That's the fuck he did.
Let's pause for a
Yes,
second.
he did.
Can we pause for a second?
He also gave a lot of felons voters' rights back. So.
Hold on. Let's take 2 steps back. When the fuck did this happen?
This
Hey,
week.
yeah.
This week.
NPR shared the article. Yeah, dog. Yeah, for real.
A governor of Kentucky.
Yeah.
I can look up the article.
There was one dude who like viciously raped like a 15-year-old and like got out, like on some real nigga shit. Got out, and there was one where they proved that the family he pardoned the person, but they proved that the family had been donating to his campaign for years. But not only had they donated, most recently for his most recent campaign, the one that he lost, they paid off what he owed.
Okay.
As former Kentucky Matt Bevinen issued hundreds of pardons
Yeah,
and
he's shitty for that.
commutations of sentences in his final days in office after his November defeat to Democrat Andy
So,
Beshear.
you know what I think it is?
He's like,
Our founding
what's
fathers.
that? You said this place could look like Detroit? Fuck it, let's make it. Boom.
Essentially.
Yo,
Like-
our founding fathers was like, anybody that gets the job after.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
naivety. Yeah, they're gonna be
The list of
dignified.
pardons.
No.
Hold on.
They weren't even.
The list of pardons includes Blake Walker, who was convicted in 2003 of killing his parents, Kurt Smith, who as a teenager was found guilty of murdering his 6-week-old son, Delmer Parton, who was convicted of beheading a woman and stuffing her in a barrel,
What the?
and
Note
Kathy
to
Ann
self,
Harless, who
don't-
left her newborn baby to die in an outhouse.
Don't go
These
to
are people
Kentucky.
we
Note to
excuse.
self, don't go to Kentucky. Is what I'm saying, dog.
Alright.
There's no reason for me to
Fuck
go
it.
to Kentucky, and I
Headless.
also think that whoever's in
people are free
Kentucky,
now.
I think they should have to stay in Kentucky. I think that we should put up borders within the state.
Border
Tell
Kentucky.
you.
I don't want
Not
them.
letting
I don't
you-
want them traveling. I don't need it. It's not okay.
Nobody's gonna
They
go
can
for
keep
it.
the fried chicken too. As a matter of fact,
I
shut
said-
all
Wait.
you motherfuckers
Did they let
up.
out any drug dealers though?
No, just
Oh,
murders.
Oh, there you
No,
go.
but that was also one of the states where they commuted a lot of weed sentences and stuff
This
like
is
that.
the one you're talking about. It says he pardoned and commuted the sentences of Dayton Jones, who was convicted in 2016 of sexually assaulting a 15-year-old boy, and Patrick Baker, who convicted of reckless homicide in 2017.
Now the reckless homicide, I kind of understood that one because it was like he was a teenager and he like made a dumb decision or whatever, blah blah blah. So I see, but some of them shits, I'm like, yo, you wild.
So that makes me think: is the government like? Is he on the same shit as them? You know what I'm saying? Is he out there killing and doing all this kind of shit?
No, I think he was
sound
being
like
petty.
the
I think he was just
This
being
does sound like the
vindictive.
purge, bro.
He was-
I'm
He was
done.
being vindictive.
No.
He was on some shit. He was like, listen, he was watching A-Team, and he was like, I need to pull together some mercs for myself. this is my A-Team. I want to pull together.
You're like, I love it when I'm playing.
Yeah, that's crazy though. That's that's
Yeah,
a lot
that's
there.
some wild shit. I've never heard
Grab
that.
that barrel. It's time to get to work.
I didn't even know governors had that power.
I
didn't
I
either.
thought only the president had that power.
No.
It's like,
Yeah,
I
and
think
they don't have to provide any
Yeah.
explanation. Like it's
Yeah.
completely at their discretion. So
That's one of the things that need to be changed. As far as pardon, another thing that needs to be changed, which will never happen, is there need to be terms of limit for Congress members. Like they can just keep
all
getting
kinds of limits. It should be a term limit, and this gonna sound bad, but it should also be an age limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking
I
believe that
agree.
shit
Bro,
wholeheartedly.
you can't be 80
You
something years
still,
old.
right? You still got motherfuckers in the Senate who literally voted in segregation laws, bro.
Yeah.
You didn't change.
Like,
Come on,
sorry.
dog. Fuck out of here.
Bro, but what? Strong Thurman.
Change.
That's a good example right there. Like, bro.
Come
The
on,
Supreme
man.
Court justices, they gotta do 10 years and you get the fuck on.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Well, you
in there
know
for
what?
life.
I ain't really. This is why I say I'm not really mad at the Supreme Court justices because once they get on there, one, no one can remove them. Like it's not like they have to be reappointed and blah 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 and XYZ. So and there's 9. So I would like to believe I'm naive But
At least one.
I would like to believe that of the 9, the majority would still hold up the law of the land as opposed to pandering to someone who doesn't even have the power to remove you anymore. What's the point?
Right, but you have to be of sound mind to judge the law. And
Yes.
then you can't really be of sound mind when you're trying to go senile and you think like,
I mean, if you're going senile,
Like,
that's another thing.
you're going to jail. Where's my horse?
No, but to say that they would go senile after 10 years, no.
But that's my thing, though. I think that. Damn, you guys are wild.
What is like? No. I get exactly what Jake said because you gonna have that one that's gonna be up there.
Grumpy old men.
Who let this colored in here? Like,
Where's the no Negroes allowed sign?
like, so
Did you put me through the back?
He's like, hold on, he using the same bathroom as me. What
Is
the
this
fuck?
supposed to be right again?
Hey, you gotta use that water fountain around the corner there.
You
But,
know.
but my thing about it is that I feel like it gives them a sense of immunity. You know what I'm saying? Where they don't have to worry about being removed or being voted out. So it's kind of like, who do they really answer to?
Themselves.
Yeah, but
I
but that's it. Come on. If they all have, you have to have some sense of immunity. I mean, they answer to themselves, but if it's 9 people and
mm-hmm.
I was like, what the fuck? What you doing?
told you, Thomas.
I just feel like any branches of government should have term limits. That's just my personal thing. But
like I said, that's why I think that there should be an age limit. There definitely has to be an age limit when it comes to like especially the judicial system. You can't just have like some guy that's up there that's like 102 years old trying to make decisions on shit.
And I just think that they don't. Yeah, I agree. They just don't understand. Like even when it came to the laws about Google and when they
didn't
were,
even know that shit.
they didn't even understand how the fuck the internet works on an iPhone. Like they were asking basic fucking questions about an iPhone, dog. Like why are you presiding over a case about Google fucking breaking the law and you don't even understand how the fuck Google work on a fucking phone?
What's up with this Sierra?
Where they do that?
She never answers me.
hey, what's
What
that?
the fuck they do that at,
Y'all
yo?
got
Like
these
that
things
shit's
you touch the
crazy,
screen
dog.
now? What in the hell?
How do I get to the internet?
I honestly
Someone
feel
told me
like
I could talk to my TV. What kind of crazy world is it?
How do I log into my MySpace? Music on there again.
y'all are.
Hey,
Not saying that we don't need
anybody
old
know how to
wisdom
get
and
an app?
leadership, but the majority of the wisdom doesn't have to be leadership. That's out of control. Y'all need help. And I ain't talking about all the old people out there because my grandmother was sharp until the day she died. You know what I'm saying? But
My grandma,
even my grandmother, she was old school. Like she
my
was
grandma,
like,
she sharp
if
now.
you got your shoulders out, what you doing? Like she was dead ass. You not supposed to come to church if you ain't got no lacquer on your thighs. Like stockings. That's what she called it.
Oh, I was
That's what
like,
she
what?
called it. So yeah, there's
I
just
thought you
certain
talking about
things
Cadillac.
that no lacquer.
I was.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you said lashes. I mean,
I thought you said lack.
Yeah, like, I thought you meant like somebody whipping your
Yeah,
thigh.
you use
Damn.
a word that we don't know.
Yeah,
That's what my grandma used. You know.
Yeah.
She also referred to vagina as caliva.
All
Alright,
No, the actual quote was
Mhm.
the actual quote was she was talking about President Trump, and she said, "Man, please, that motherfucker eat more saliva than cornbread."
So hold up. So if you eat pussy, that means you putting your saliva on that saliva. Put that
Oh, shit.
saliva
It's
on
a
that
child.
saliva.
What's up, John?
Hey.
Are you currently eating saliva?
That just sounds like a very long word for vagina.
Nah, you gotta put that
Yeah,
saliva.
I know,
on
but
that
it just sounds
But when
like.
she get wet, is that saliva?
So-
Rest in peace, Angela. I miss you.
So if I look into that pussy, that's a kaleidoscope.
Ooh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's real good right there.
What the fuck?
Can that be the name of the show? Kaleidoscope? Can we do
Send
that?
that to me, sir.
That's good.
Josh, send that to me.
I like that.
I don't even know how to spell saliva. I don't even know how to send that to you, bro.
I don't know. Okay,
saliva,
Google.
but with a C.
Yeah.
Or a K. Do saliva with a K. You know,
Yeah,
that way it's close to
saliva.
kaleidoscope.
Yeah, Kaliva.
We can do that.
Yeah, send that to me, bro.
Yeah.
Look at dirty
Might not
pirate.
spell that.
Kaleidoscope.
never
I'll
mind
send
it.
it to you.
Kaleidoscope.
Kaleidoscope.
Yeah, put it on the group chat.
Yeah, do something. Yeah. Guys,
Y'all want to get a sports topic in?
we got 5 minutes.
What y'all think about the Bill Belichick?
Oh, him cheating? That's normal.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm saying,
there's something new?
Yeah.
They got another.
Belichick, look, man, Patriots always cheating, so I mean,
Right.
I was like, there's nothing really to
Yeah,
talk about.
pretty
When it
sure.
comes, yeah, there's nothing to talk about that. The one thing I can say, Raiders last game.
Oh yeah, well,
But I was shocked to all hell that the Eagles actually, with 2 receivers down, pulled that game out of their ass.
Yeah,
that's one thing. Which y'all got to beat Dallas. That's
I know.
winner.
I think
Go home.
I think
Right.
they'll beat Dallas.
Yeah, it's
I think they will.
dude, that one catch where it went through like 3 people's hands and he still caught it. Oh,
Cuz feels
man.
differently.
Yeah, whatever. Look, even if Dallas wins, they're not going anywhere. So
But they're going to the playoffs. Just keep them out of the
Yeah.
Playoffs.
Movies real quick. Anybody? I've looked at the reviews. I've been following up to this one. But they say that Rise of Skywalker gonna be trash.
Oh yeah, I heard people were like saying it was boring.
Yeah, I already knew it. The last one was stupid, so
I'm good. I don't want to watch it.
I was never really. What is it?
Star Wars.
Yeah, I was never into either
it's
one.
all about that
Star
Mandalorian
Wars or
and
the
all
other
this
one?
other shit. The
What's the other one?
Mandalorian.
Star Wars?
What's the other one?
Star Trek?
Both of those. Never in either one.
Man, you don't fuck with Star Wars?
Not
Or
at all.
Rise of
I
Skywalker?
mean, you know,
I'm a
I know
Mandalorian.
the basic story. I know the girl Leia with the buns and shit.
Come on,
you know.
Luke Guy.
That's not what you just said.
Guy
I was like,
Nah, bro, your boy Luke Guyballer.
I think that's actually a porn character.
It probably
actually.
is.
I think it is.
Princess Leia.
That is a porn character. I saw that one.
Jabba the
You
Hutt.
never watched Star Trek either, so you never even saw
Slayer.
Captain Jerk.
I did.
Lieutenant Cock.
Django, fuck.
R2 T-Bag.
Whoa.
That's good.
That's fucking
Take it.
stupid.
Boba Fett.
C3 meat and holes.
I'm done.
C3
and holes.
and holes.
Got a foul on that Madrillium foul.
Excuse me, guys. This is
Roll it.
You guys are wild.
What are we on the sex star, bro? Oh Jesus! No, you're not. No, you're not. I was waiting to see if he was gonna do one more. You disappointed me.
Josh
I was
said we
back.
were old people bashing.
Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. There's just certain things that certain people shouldn't do.
I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, term limits for all branches of government. That's I'm all for that.
Absolutely. Term limits and limits on how many times you can be
Checks and balances.
elected.
You gotta use blue pills to get it up. That's when you gotta go.
Oh man, come on. That eliminates a lot of people.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of motherfuckers.
Yeah. some
Damn,
people
Darren.
that they
Oh,
can beat up.
man.
Fuck, Darren.
Oh,
Bro, leave
man.
them 40s alone. That's
yeah,
why.
that's what it is.
What?
Aaron gonna need the blue pill with them damn 40s.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, bro.
What did you just
It
do?
runs in the family.
Raising hand.
What family?
Oh,
I
that's a family. I mean,
Colt
I
45 with the blue pill.
Look, Nikki like, no it don't. She like, no it don't.
Listen, Nikki told him outside, don't be talking about my man, okay?
Yo,
Listen.
Nikki like, Osmond clap these knees.
God.
Talking about.
Look at her, she like, damn, you ain't clapping, Yeeks.
Oh,
My
Lord.
brother.
I'm uncomfortable. Guys, this has been another episode.
Wow. You guys are wild.
But yeah,
Yeah,
this,
them Jamaican beef patties, bro.
giving her that sugar cane, bro.
Thanks for listening. It's been another
That
episode
Slay nephew.
of the Unfamous Podcast.
That Appleton comes.
I'm just Kia. Just trying to go.
Nah, fuck that. Wait, finish it. Fuck that. But nah, man. Nah. In all seriousness, man. This was episode 129. 129, bro. That's a lot. Yeah, we rolling. That's your boy Sean, Mr. NJ Brick City.
Any Hardaway?
Tasty Jake.
Just Kia.
What?
Bye, y'all.
Wait, I said Oz. I said
You
it
did.
quick
You said
and
it right.
everything.
See, from now on, you should just say I
can't
really
win.
want. You know, you
You know,
can't.
that's-
So you do what
that's-
makes you happy, Oz.
Exactly.
Yeah, whatever.
That's
Now
what
I'm
you
doing
do.
that.
But this was the Unfamous Podcast. Thanks everybody for listening. Well, I'll let y'all later. All right, peace.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to play this.